What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to dive into multiple topics. Joe Shane beginning to clear up some cap space. There have been 2 cap casualties as of today. Before I get there, folks, if you like what you watch, if you like the content on our YouTube channel, make sure to go check us out at Big Blue Avenue. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well at Big Blue Avenue. And want to quickly shout out our sponsor, BetUS. You can sign up with that promo code there, join125. Basically, BetUS, if you don't know what it is, it's America's favorite sports book, serving customers for 25 plus years. Bet on all your favorite sports. You can use our promo code there. 125% sign up bonus up to 2,500. And you can bet on the go, bet anytime, anywhere on your mobile device, get fast payouts, and enjoy live betting where you can bet during the game for the early and best lines. That's BetUS, where the game begins. Now, folks, I'm really excited to talk about the New York Giants roster moves and what they've been able to do. Giants' new general manager, Joe Shane, mentioned that he would be making roster moves sooner rather than later in a press conference on Tuesday, and it began with the release of Giants tight end Kyle Rudolph. Now, Kyle Rudolph, I'm a big advocate for him. I like him as a person. I've always loved him as a player. I've watched him since he was 18 years old. But this move ends up creating $5.2 million in cap space for the New York Giants. Joe Shane mentioned he wanted to clear up around $40 million, and $5.2 million is a big chunk. That's about 1/8 of what the Giants' desired cap clearance is. Now, the release of Rudolph will accumulate $2.4 million in dead cap space. So this was not the best signing by Dave Gettleman last year. It was a little bit of a head scratcher to me personally. Even as a Notre Dame fan, I was able to warm up to that signing. Now, Rudolph was signed to a 2-year, $12 million contract, and that did include a $4.5 million signing bonus for a guy who was 31 years old entering his 11th season in the NFL. Now, he was a guy last season who made minimal contributions on this football team. He couldn't really be kept around for that price tag. 26 catches for 257 yards and just 1 touchdown. And yes, he did play in all 17 games, starting 13 of them, including he was tight end 1 for the first 2 games of the season when the Giants were missing Evan Engram. The Giants brought Rudolph in because he was supposed to help the offensive line block, which he did. But due to all the injuries, that really didn't get noticed. And he was supposed to be a big red zone threat due to the Giants' offensive incompetence and lack of Daniel Jones's availability. Kyle Rudolph only saw 1 touchdown this season. 51 of his 58 career touchdowns leading up to last season were in the red zone, and he really wasn't that red zone threat. They tried forcing the ball to him several times, and the signing, unfortunately, never really made sense for me. The writing was on the wall for Kyle Rudolph. And I know I talked about the Giants tight end room, evaluating their tight end room in a video last week, and I predicted that this would happen. And now Evan Engram, who was also set to hit free agency, I doubt he's coming back either. So now you're looking at Rudolph and Engram both gone. That means the Giants will likely be in the market for a tight end in the NFL draft, most likely. There is a small chance for free agency. It depends on what the Giants do with their salary cap, whether they're able to convert money into signing bonuses, extend contracts, last resort, restructure, or cut more players. And more cuts are definitely coming. That was the first cut. And Rudolph did leave a message for Giants fans, a very classy guy, saying, "Fans, thanks for taking me and my family in this past year. Certainly not the year any of us expected, but a year we will never forget. We're appreciative of the Mara and Tisch families for giving us the opportunity to be a Giant." Next up, Giants release 6-year veteran running back Devonta Booker, and this release was also expected for this football team. This move creates over $2.1 million in cap space. It does accumulate $1 million in dead money, but Devonta Booker would have had a $3.125 million cap hit this year, and for a guy who's running back number 2, he should not be having a $3+ million cap hit when you're trying to rebuild/retool your team. And last season, Booker had a good year. He rushed for 593 yards, averaged over 4 yards a clip, tied with Barkley for the team lead in rushing yards. That goes to show you the season that Saquon Barkley had last year. Now, Booker did have 2 rushing touchdowns. He was also better in the pass game than what people had thought. He had 40 catches for about 270 yards and a score there as well. So 3 total touchdowns for Devontae Booker, a guy who signed a 2-year, $5.5 million deal last season on the first day of free agency. Dave Gettleman went out and made this move when he probably could have waited to get another running back at a more cost-effective deal, but the Giants prioritized this due to the questionable health of Saquon Barkley, which you could still raise that question a year later at this time about Barkley's health. So now, so far, the Giants have saved over $7.1 million in cap space. The exact number is $7.125 million after these 2 cuts. There are definitely more cuts looming. Who's next? Could it be Sterling Shepard? Could it be James Bradbury? What about Blake Martinez? Riley Dixon? I don't know. But if they're going to hit that $40 million number, more work is going to have to be done, especially with the new season officially beginning, the new calendar year of the NFL that is officially beginning on March 16th for NFL free agency. And now people have started to talk about Saquon Barkley. Obviously, Joe Shane did mention that we'd be open to everything when the question was raised about potentially dealing Saquon Barkley, because now you're likely to go out and get a running back in this offseason, whether it's a backup in free agency or whether it's in the draft. Barkley will account for $7.2 million against the cap this year. Jordan Schultz mentioned that the Giants would be open to it, but it would take at least a first-round pick. Barkley had over 2,000 total yards in his rookie season, but has posted just under 2,400 his last 3 seasons combined. So you could divide that evenly. We're looking at around 800 yards a season. Now, granted, he missed all of 2020 with that torn ACL. He played in 1 and like a quarter games. So it's going to be interesting. These moves in releasing Kyle Rudolph and Devontae Booker trend towards Shane's desire of clearing up $40 million in cap space, but the Giants are nowhere near where they want to be yet. Folks, if you like what you watch, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. We'll be keeping you updated with the Giants roster moves over the course of the next couple of days. The team also signed 2 new assistant coaches today in Angela Baker and Cade Knox, who is a Harvard graduate, kind of playing that analytics role, game management type of guy on the offense that could help out as an offensive assistant. So that should be interesting. But follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. We really appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching today, and we'll keep you posted with more videos coming up. Without further ado, let's go Big Blue.